One of these guys is our investment and the other one represents what's happened to our investment. I'm sure you can guess which is which. Yeah, so our investment just got smashed in the head. So as per usual, I'll be doing an end of week market breakdown. Today has been a heavy red day. So let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into the market. Before we get started, of course, if you're enjoying this content, you're getting some value from it, make sure to like and subscribe to the video, or like and subscribe to the channel, should I say. Also, if you're new to crypto and you want to learn the fundamentals, you want to learn some basics, some TA, then enroll to the course. Link for that is in the description. And last but not least, if you want to join the private Telegram group where you can request for me to cover certain coins, then link for that is also in the description. Without further ado, let's get straight into the market and let's see what is happening today. So first and foremost, let's start off with Bitcoin. Now, today, as Thanos likes to say, has taken a heavy toll on us. It's been a big day, down $4,600, which equates to about 7%. Massive when you think about the dollar value. But at the same time, during the bull run, this is what happens. You can have big swings of 20 to 25%. And today, or this week, represents from top to bottom a 20.89% move to the downside. But if you zoom out a little bit and actually look at the charts, it isn't too bad. The Fibonacci that I drew not too long ago, stretching from the bottom at 45 to the top here at 58 or 59, it's still with between the 0.618 and the 0.5. And during the bull run, this happens all the time. You know, it's nothing to be concerned about just yet. The only time to be concerned would be if it closes below the 786. During the bull run, I did a video on this comparing the 2017 and the current bull run. And during the 2017 run, whenever there was a correction, it only went down to the 0.5 and the 618, and those were the most common correction. And what does that mean? It means this level and 618. Sometimes, like on a few occasions, it would go down to 786, and the only time it actually closed below the 786 was when it was the end of the run, the beginning of the end, essentially. So until that happens, there's nothing to worry about. This is just a move that normally shakes out the weak hands. If you're a newcomer, then this move would essentially scare you off. It might make you sell your position. To those that are more patient, like myself, and hopefully you guys that are watching. So they would be selling, but the more experienced people would not be selling. And then what normally happens is it recovers and then it goes to the upside. A lot of times a move like this would happen just before a massive move to the upside. So, I mean, in terms of TA, there's nothing really else to report apart from support has been found between the 618 and the 0.5 level. And also, if we move to the daily, we can also see that the wick perfectly tested a support level over here, which I have highlighted before already. I just extended this zone. So it tested that perfectly. If it closes at this level right now, it would still be a higher low. So this is a low, and this would represent a higher low still. So nothing major to worry about. If it continues to go down, then we have support at this level, and the next major support would be 45. Now, if it goes down to this level, it would be a bit worrying, I would say. The alarm bells will start to ring off, but until that happens, we're all good. So this is the border essentially. Anything below that, and we're gonna have to get a bit worried. But this is why I want to start this breakdown off with saying this is why you have to always take profit. I've taken profit a couple of times already with Bitcoin, Ethereum, all my cryptocurrencies, taking like a 10% profit or 15%. Because when times are good, that's when you got to take a little profit off, because you never know when a big move like this happens. You know, when this happens, you're going to wish, why didn't I take profit at 60 or 62 or 65? You know, when a big move happens, always try to take a little bit profit, park it in a stable coin like USDT or USDC. In the event like this happens, you can either take that profit and exchange it into dollar or whatever your currency is, or you can use that profit, leave it there, and then when a big sale like this happens, you can bank on that and invest at low points when it's on sale. Moving swiftly to Ethereum. Let's move to the weekly time frame. So this is showing massive swings, which is quite crazy, from 2,500 making new all-time highs all the way down to the previous support level, or the previous resistance turn support. So this is actually what I said during last week's breakdown. I said it would be nice to see and bullish to see a test of the previous high when it broke past, and this is what's happened again on two occasions over here. So it might turn around and actually close with a candle closure back at this resistance level at 1900. As you can see, a major high. If it stays above this, the bulls are definitely in control, still in control, and it'll probably continue on, you know, back to 2500 or consolidate and then go back. If it closes below, it'll be a bit annoying and a bit worrying, but then support would be at 1600 and down to 1400. That would, I think, if that happens, I think that would probably extend how long it will take for Ethereum to carry on going higher. Moving over to XRP. Massive rejection for XRP. Again, during the midweek breakdown, when I saw this rounding top over here, I said it's looking like this is the end of the rally, and a massive move happened to the downside. I did say that there is a little bit of support at $1.36. Of course, you can see that quite clearly. The next major support level would be around this zone, and it's tapped that perfectly. If it carries on, then of course we have major support at $1. Let's move to the weekly over here. As long as it stays above $1, I think it's probably the bulls are still in control. Having said that, I've said this is all about XRP. It doesn't really obey the laws of technical analysis too much, especially after a big move like that. It probably, and this is going off of the history of XRP, of how it's behaved, it's probably going to carry on going down, maybe break below $1 and keep going. But if you're looking at it from a TA perspective, which is what we're doing, then if it stays above $1, then it should still be on the bull side, and then there's still a good chance of it carrying on towards the next major high of $2.75. So let's see how it behaves. Support at $1. Next major resistance, well, now it's actually got a bit of resistance at this top right here, because a lot of people have sold there. So it has to get past this now, and the next would be 270 to 280. So let's see how that continues. Next, we'll have a look at 1 inch. 1 inch has actually done all right during this correction. A perfect test. Actually, if it stays above this high over here to $5.20, then the bulls would 100% be in control. However, this wick has perfectly tested a previous high of $4.62. And more importantly, moving to the daily time, you can see this counter trend line right here. Perfect test right there. Perfect test. Beautiful. If it can use this as support, that would as well be beautiful to see. But on the weekly time frame, what we want to see is for it to remain above this level. That would be a very bullish sign. If it doesn't remain above it, if it goes below, as it is now, it's just on the border right now. If it goes below, then we're going to test that level again, 40.65, and then potentially even go lower towards $4.10 and the next support level at 380 or 389 to 390. So let's see what Winich has to say. Moving on to Cardano. So Cardano has just broken out of not a very strong symmetrical triangle, but a symmetrical triangle nonetheless. So what would be nice to see would be more candle kind of bounces in between, but it's a lot of wick action, so it's not a very strong chart pattern. But what we're seeing is it's just broken above it, but it's just touching the precipice, so it might still break to the upside and carry on going higher. It's not looking very clear, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It could go either way, but at the moment it's just tipping to the upside just now. So there's a lot of indecisiveness right there. You can see there's a lot of buy side pressure with this wick, so it dipped all the way down to here, but returned back to this level, and then it went all the way to the top and got rejected back to this level. So it is at a crossroads at the moment. The other thing that we can notice about this chart pattern right here, or the charts even, should I say, is that there were 3 rejections of this level of 150 to 155. So this is proving to be quite a strong resistance level. So it needs to be broken probably in the next move, or it's probably going to crash down. So we want to see a strong test of that level and an actual break. If we look at it from the daily perspective, we can see a more clear symmetrical triangle. There was a move breaking past it, which was a false breakout. But looking at it at the moment, it's at the apex of this triangle. So it's got a good chance of actually using this as support to carry on going higher. So let's see how it performs in the next week. It's got a chance of actually breaking to the upside. So I can just see there's a upwards counter trend line in play. So there is a chance of it doing well. You know, it's not all doom and gloom just yet. Still got some way to go before it actually breaks to the downside. If it does break to the downside, then the next major support level I would say is probably the one that is near 96 to 95 cents. So let's see what it does going forward. Next we'll have a look at NULS. So lovely looking chart right here. Massive gains from early March, beginning of March, all the way up to now. I would definitely say the probability is leaning towards a proper correction now, because it hasn't shown any sign of a correction in the sign of a top and a correction or a bottom. So I would say probability is leaning towards that correction happening soon. However, if price currently stays above 145, which is just around this support level, then there is a chance that it may carry on back and attack firstly 173, but also towards $2. So there's still a chance of that happening, of it carry on going up. So looking at it from the daily time frame, you can see this lovely ascending triangle, and it broke out quite nicely, but a massive rejection nonetheless. As I said, if it stays above 145, which is the current resistance level, and it turns it into support, then it has a chance of carry on going higher. But I would definitely say probability is leaning towards the side of a correction happening, because when you have a massive move like this, you know, it has to breathe, it has to consolidate its gains for it to carry on going higher. I would even say if it does correct now, it's showing quite a big rejection already. If it does correct now and it goes below 145, then there is a chance that it could go all the way down to $1.90. That's the next major top that you can see, and which would probably turn into support. So that is my analysis on NULS USD. Next, we'll have a look at CRV. So CRV is looking quite interesting. Another one that is at a crossroads. Now, what you notice is a big resistance at this level, $3.50, and also there is support at 266 thereabouts. So it can either, you know, break below. You can see it actually found some support below that, and it also found a lot of resistance above that. So it can either break to the upside and then carry on to the next major target, which would be 575, or it can break below and then go towards 218 or 220, or the next one, which would be at 180. So I would probably want to see some kind of decisive action. Is it going to break above, in which then this would open up the floor towards, as I said, 560, 570, or is it going to break below this trend line and break below this support? Or another scenario could even be it could consolidate within this area. What we'll wait for now, as I said, is a decisive move. We can't really tell which way it wants to go because of this indecisive candle. It didn't go up or didn't go down. The one indication that you could potentially see that it leads to the downside is a massive wick or sell side pressure. This is much larger than the buy side pressure. So let's see what it wants to do. Let's wait for a decisive move. Now, let's look at VeChain. VeChain has performed very, very well. Huge run up. This is looking very similar to, I think it was NULS. Yeah, it was NULS. So this is looking very similar to that. You can see the massive run up without much correction, apart from this small gap over here. But there hasn't been any major correction. I am a holder of VET. I've got a bag in VET, and this is why I took a little bit profit off the table from VET, because of this massive gain. Now, if you look at the actual percentage amount from the bottom all the way to the top, 577%. Probability is leaning towards a correction for it to consolidate some of its gains before it carries on to the upside. Now, I said probability is on a correction. That doesn't mean there is not a chance of it going to the upside. If it stays above, moving to the daily, it's showing actually quite a lot of buy side pressure right here currently. Now, of course, at the moment it can carry on going down, but if it stays like this, then there's definitely a lot of buy side demand. If this is enough to push it back upwards to carry on this rally, then I would say the next target would be from 30 to 35 cents. However, having said that, as I said, it's been on a rally for a long time, almost 600%. So it needs to breathe, it needs to consolidate its gains before it can carry on going upwards. Support on the daily time frame is at 13 or 12 to 13 cents. So as I said, on the weekly is not showing anything as support. The next level is going to be around 10 cents. That's the next major level. It's also a big round even number. From the daily time frame, we could see the top of this move right here as support, 14 to 15 cents perhaps. I think that is a possibility, especially during this bull run, and that would lead to a move of, from the top of around 50%, which makes a lot of sense. As I said, it's been on a run for a long time, so it needs to consolidate, it needs to find a bottom and then build another move. So again, going back to the beginning of the show, of the episode, where I said it's important to take some profits from your winning investments. Take profits, keep it on the sidelines, invest it back into another crypto that's on the low, or just spend it on something. But be smart. The rallies don't go on forever. They need to consolidate, they need to retrace and correct before they can carry on. So that's VeChain. The target, if it carries on to the upside, I said it's less of probability, but it would be 30 to 35 cents. Support could be around 15 cents, and that's on the daily time frame. The next major one would be 9 to 10 cents. So let's see what it wants to do in the next week. Last, we're going to have a look at OXT. So quite an interesting looking chart. You can see a clear channel from a mid to long time frame. From back in December 2019, there's a clear counter trend line in place, ascending, but it's a counter trend line, and there's a trend line below it as well. Now it is near the top of this trend line, so it's very close to some major resistance. Every time it tapped this, massive move to the downside, and then on top of that, you can see this rising wedge. So it's just broken out of this rising wedge. This could lead to, especially with this rally before it, could lead to a further break to the downside, down to support at this support level of around 45 cents. So if that is the case, if it breaks below this on the daily time frame, on the weekly it's already broken below, but on the daily, if it breaks below this, then it could drop another. There's support, a little bit of support at 55, but it could drop all the way down to 33 cent correction or 45 cents. Now it hasn't broken down on the daily time frame just yet, so there's still a chance that it can break to the upside. But having said that, I did say there is a massive resistance level overhead, which is around $1. So there isn't much upside. There's more risk than reward at the moment if it does get rejected from this level. So I say it's looking more bearish than bullish to me. So the bullish case would be a break to the upside and then $1 target. The bearish would be a break to the downside and a little bit of support at 55 cents, but also main support at 45 cents. So be careful with that one. And that'll be the end of this breakdown. Hopefully you got some value from that, and see you in the next video. Peace.